Hello guys, this is MTG Paper Deck Text here, back with another video with your host J-Mac that just got back in from MagicCon Vegas. What a weekend. It was very fun meeting a lot of you there, and the games were enjoyable. Now, for those of you who are planning to go to a MagicCon, nope, it is a very expensive trip. Parking was $30 a day, at least at the parking garage that I parked at, because the parking lot at the convention center was full. And inside the convention center, where you go to buy things and hang out at, a lot of the prices on cards and product, well, y'all already know that can vary. So make sure y'all not only y'all have enough for spending, parking, and the hidden fees at the hotels. Make sure whatever hotel that you are going to stay at, make sure there are no hidden fees when you book your rooms, because what happens is, when you book your room online, you're only paying for the room and the taxes. And then when you get to the hotel, they're gonna say, "Oh, you still gotta pay a $200 or $300 deposit, depending on what hotel you are at." And again, parking. They charge you for parking. That parking is not included in the hotel. So make sure, whatever hotel you're going to stay at, make sure you're not having to pay for parking, because that's gonna dip into your parking funds. And if you rent a car, make sure there are no hidden charges on renting that car. Because again, when you rent a car, you're going to pay for just the car rental fee and the tax when you book it online. But when you get in there in person, they're going to hit you with a $300 to $400 deposit, depending on what company you're with. And they're only going to give you a portion of that deposit back when you return the car. So just some things to think about as you are planning to go to a MagicCon. You're going to need more than just spending money for whatever products you want to buy at the con, or money to participate in whatever events that you're going to participate in at the MagicCon. Now, without any further ado, I have another deck tech today that I'm going to show you. This is my Ureni, the Unwritten Dragon Triple deck. So first up, we have the commander, Ureni, the Unwritten. Ureni the Unwritten is a 7/7 legendary creature spirit dragon for 4 in green, blue, and red. Has flying, trample, and whenever Ureni enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I played this deck at MagicCon, and this is the deck that I won games with. Very fun. It was very fun games playing with this deck. Next up, we have Phantasmal Image. Phantasmal Image is a 0/0 for 1 in a blue creature illusion. You may have Phantasmal Image enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it's an illusion, in addition to its other types, and it gains when this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. So the theme of this deck is to copy our dragons. We wanted to play Ureni, then copy Ureni to get more dragons into play. Next up we have Dragon Lord Servant, which for 1 and 1 red, we have a 1/3 Goblin Shaman with dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Next up we have Dragon Speaker Shaman, which we have a 2/2 for 1 and 2 red human barbarian shaman creature with dragon spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Next up we have Sarkhan, Soul of Flame. Sarkhan, Soul of Flame is a 2/4 legendary creature human shaman for 1 in blue and a red. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever a dragon you control enters, you may have Sarkhan become a copy of it until end of turn, except its name is Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, and it's legendary in addition to its other types. Next up we have Dax Duplicate. We have a 0/0 creature shapeshifter for 2 and a blue and a red. You may have Dax Duplicate enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it gains haste and dethrone, which is whenever it attacks the player with the most life per tap, for most life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's that part of that copy theme. Next up we have Clone, another copy card. You have a 0/0 creature shapeshifter for 3 and a blue. As Clone comes into play, You may choose a creature in play. If you do, clone comes into play as a copy of that creature. Next up, we have Spark Double. For a 0/0 creature illusion, we have a 3 in the blue. You have Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature. It enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker, and it is a legendary if that permanent is legendary. Next up, we have Atushi, the Blazing Sky. We have 4/4 legendary dragon spirit for 2 and 2 red with flying and trample. When Atushi, the Blazing Sky dies, choose one. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards, or we create 3 treasure tokens. Next up, we have Opportunistic Dragon. For 2 and 2 red, we have a 4/3 creature dragon with flying, and when this creature enters, choose target human or artifact an opponent controls. For as long as this creature remains on the battlefield, gain control of that permanent. It loses all abilities and it can't attack or block. Next up, we have Vengeful Ancestor. For 2 and 2 red, we have a 3/4 dragon, spirit dragon with flying. Whenever this creature enters or attacks gold target creature, gold means until your next turn that creature attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. And also has whenever a golded creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. Next up, we have Thunderbreak Regent. For 2 and 2 red, we have a 4/4 dragon with flying. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, this creature deals 3 damage to that player. Next up, we have Magmatic Hellkite. The Magmatic Hellkite is a 4/5 dragon for 2 and 2 red with flying, and when this creature enters the battlefield, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Its controller searches their library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield tapped with the stun counter on it, then shuffles. If a permanent with the stun counter would become untapped, remove 1 from it instead. Next up, we have Parapet Thrasher. For 2 in the red, we have a 4/3 dragon with flying. And when 1 or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. You can destroy target artifact that opponent controls. This creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. You exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Next up, we have Thundermane Dragon. For 3 in a red, we have a 4/4 dragon with flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells with power 4 or greater from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. Next up, we have Dragonhawk's Fate's Tempest, which is a 5/5 legendary creature bird dragon for 3 and 2 red with flying. Whenever Dragonhawk enters or attacks, exile the top X cards of your library or X is the number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater. You may play those cards until the end of your next turn, until your next end step. At the beginning of your end step, Dragonhawk deals 2 damage to each opponent for each of those cards that are still exiled. Next up, we have Terror of the Peaks. Terror of the Peaks is a 5/4 dragon for 3 and 2 red with flying. Spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Next up, we have Twin Flame Tyrant, which is a 3/5 dragon for 3 and 2 red, flying. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent, an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. Next up, we have Thundermaw Hellkite. 3 and 2 red, we have a 5/5 dragon with flying and haste. When Thundermaw Hellkite enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control. Tap those creatures. Next up, we have Wrathful Red Dragon. For 3 and 2 red, we have a 5/5 dragon with flying, and whenever a dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dragon. Next up, we have Goldspan Dragon. For 3 and 2 red, we have a 4/4 dragon with flying and haste. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes the target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have tapped, sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any one color. Next up, we have Scourge of Alcus. For 2 and 3 red, we have a 4/4 dragon creature with flying. And whenever Scourge of Valkis or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. It also has fire breathing for a red. Scourge of Valkis gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Next up we have Thrakus the Butcher. For 3 red and green, we have a 3/4 legendary creature dragon peasant with trample. Whenever Thrakus the Butcher attacks, double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn. Next up we have Lozon's Dragon's Legacy. For 3 blue and a red, we have a 4/2 legendary creature dragon Shaman with flying. Whenever you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, Lozon deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. Next up we have Bloomvine Regent, which is a 4/5 dragon for 3 and 2 green with flying, and whenever this creature or another dragon you control enters, you gain 3 life. And it's also on its own side a sorcery called Claim Territory for 2 and a green. You search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield, tap in the other into your hand, and shuffle. Next up we have Inferno of the Star Mounts. For 4 and 2 red, we have a 6/6 legendary dragon with this spell can't be countered, has flying and haste, and again we have fire breathing. 4 Inferno of the Star Mounts gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. Next up we have Lathlish Dragon Queen. For 4 and 2 red, we have a 6/6 legendary creature dragon with flying, and whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Again, with another fire breathing card. Pay 1 the red dragons you control, get +1/+0 until end of turn. Next up we have Ancient Copper Dragon. Ancient Copper Dragon is a 6/5 Elder Dragon for 4 and 2 red with flying. Whenever Ancient Copper Dragon deals combat damage to a player, you roll a d20. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Next up we have Kaiga the Tide Star. Kaiga is a 5/5 legendary creature dragon spirit for 5 in the blue with flying, and when Kaiga dies, gain control of target creature. Next up we have Hammerhead Tyrant. For 4 and 2 blue, we have a 6/6 dragon with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, return up to 1 target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to that spell's mana value to its owner's hand. Next up we have Savage Pit-Maw. Savage Pit-Maw is a 4/4 dragon for 4 in red and a green with flying, and whenever a Savage Pit-Maw attacks, add 3 red, 3 green. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Next up we have Myram Sentinel Worm, which is a 6/6 legendary creature dragon spirit for 3 green, blue, and red with flying and War 2. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token is a legendary if that dragon is legendary. Next up we have Bellfire Dragon. For 5 and 2 red, we have a 6/6 flying dragon with whenever Bellfire Dragon deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. Next up we have Broodcaller Scourge. Broodcaller Scourge is a 5/7 dragon for 5 and 2 green with flying. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to that damage from your hand onto the battlefield. Next up we have Old Gnawbone. Old Gnawbone is a 7/7 legendary creature dragon for 5 and 2 green with flying, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Next up we have a Tarkar Worldrender. The Tarkar Worldrender is a 6/4 legendary creature dragon for 5 red and green with flying and trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Next up we have Ancient Silver Dragon. Ancient Silver Dragon is an 8/8 Elder Dragon for 6 and 2 blue with flying, and whenever Ancient Silver Dragon deals combat damage to a player, you roll a d20. Draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Next up you have Yuvara Hellkite. Yuvara Hellkite is a 6/6 dragon with flying for 6 and 2 red, and whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. That is it for the creatures. Now we're on to our enchantments. We have Dragon Tempest. For 1 red, you have an enchantment that says whenever a dragon with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. Next up, we have a battle. Invasion of Tarkir. Invasion of Tarkir says, as the siege enters the battlefield and choose an opponent to protect it, you and the others can attack it. When it's defeated, exile it, then cast it transformed. When Invasion of Tarkir enters the battlefield, you reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, Invasion of Tarkir deals X damage X plus 2 damage to any target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. X can be 0. So it's 5, so therefore when we deal 5 damage to kill it, it will transform into Defiant Thundermaw, which is a dragon with flying and trample, 4/4. And whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. Next up, we have Aggravated Assault. This is a 1-hour win conditions. Aggravated Assault is an enchantment for 2 red that says pay 3 and 2 red, untap all creatures you control. If it's a main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Activate only as a sorcery. Next up, we have Timur's Sundersea. Timur's Sundersea, creatures you control for red is an enchantment for green, blue, and a red. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Sub-Everstic Study. For 2 and a blue, we have an enchantment that says whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays one. Next up, we have Reflections of Letjara. For 4 and blue, we have an enchantment that says, as this enchantment enters, choose its creature type. Of course, we're going to pick dragons. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Next up, we have Kendrick Discovery. Again, as we're going to choose dragons as this enchantment enters. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Next up, we have Dragonback Assault, which is an enchantment for 3 green, blue, and a red. It says when this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. And it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Next up, and last but not least for the enchantments, we have Dracogenesis. For 6 and 2 red, we have an enchantment that says you may cast dragon spells without paying their mana costs. That's it for our enchantments. Next up, we have our sorceries. Nature's Lore. We'll search our library for a forest card and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. Rampant Growth. For 1 to green, we'll search our library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tap. Cultivate and Kadama's Reach both do the same thing. They both will search our library for 2 basic land cards. One will come into play tap, one will come onto the battle. One will go to our hand. Next up, we have Explosive Vegetation. It'll search our library for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tap. You have 1 board wipe in the deck, and that is Blasphemous Act, which more than likely we will cast from 1 red to do 13 damage to each creature on the board. We have Counterspell and Negate. Counterspell counters anything. Negate only counters non-creature spells. And we have Sarkhan's Triumph, which is the last of our instances, going to search out a dragon card from our library and reshuffle. On to our artifacts. For 0 mana, we have Mox Jasper, which we can only activate if we control the dragon, but if we do, we can add mana of any color. Next, we have Soul Ring, Orb of Dragon Kind. For 1 mana, we can tap it to add 2 mana any combination of colors. Spin it to only cast dragons or to activate abilities of dragons. Or we can pay a red, sacrifice it, look at the top 7 cards of our library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Arcane Signet and Fellwar Stone. For 2 mana, both tap for either of our colors. Then we have Dragon's Horde, which draws his cards and ramps. Same thing for the Great Henge, draws his cards, gains his life, and ramps us. That is it for the artifacts. Last but not least, we have the lands. We have 37 lands in this deck. We have Arch of Araska, which will tap for colorless, or if we get the Ascend, we could pay 5, tap in and draw a card, if we have the City's Blessing. Next up, we have Bonder's Enclave, which will tap for colorless, or we could pay 3 and tap and draw a card, and only if we control a creature with power 4 or greater. Reliquary Tower is taps for colorless and gives us no maximum hand size. Ash Barrens, we can put it to play as our land for turn, tap for colorless, or we can basic land cycle it for 1 mana. Mirrored Landscape is going to fix our lands by grabbing the 2 basics that we need, but they have to be of the same type. Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expands both do the same thing. They both go grab a basic land of any type and put them onto our battlefield tap. City of Brass taps for other colors, but we lose a life. Command Tower taps for any of our colors in our commander's color identity. Frontier Bruviac enters tap but taps for all of our colors. Haven of the Spirit Dragon taps for all of our colors, but we can only use it for dragons, or we can use it to get a dragon creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon, which is pretty much the same thing, except the mana can only be spent to use on dragon spells or omen spells that we pay for, and sacrifice and search our library for a dragon card and put it into our hand. So one's a recursion piece, the other is a tutor. Next up, we have Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. We can pay 1, it can either tap for colorless, or we can pay 1 tap and put a storage counter on Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. We can tap it to remove X storage counters from Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, add X mana in any combination of colors, spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. Next up, we have Cavern of Souls, which will make our dragons uncounterable. You have Rockfall Veil, which enters if we have untap if we have 2 or more of the lands, and it taps for either red or green. Copperline Gorge enters untap unless if we have 2 or fewer, it taps for either red or green. Carplucent Forest is a pain land that will tap for either of our colors, or it can tap for colorless. Rootbound Crag enters untapped if we control a mountain or a forest, and taps for red or green. Breeding Pool enters untapped if we pay 2 life, taps for blue or green. Training Center enters untapped if we control more than 3 opponents, if we have 3 opponents. And taps for blue or red. Cinder Glade enters the battlefield untapped if we control 2 or more basics, and it taps for either red or green. And it can be searched out with the Nature's Orc as a forest card as well as a mountain card. We have Sheltered Thicket, which will enter tap, or we can cycle it away to draw a card. And it taps for either red or green. Scenic Growth Chamber, which is a bounce land that taps for blue or green, but we have to return a land to our hand. Same thing with the Is It Boiler Works, except it taps for blue or red. Gruul Turd does the same thing, but it taps for red or green. And we have 4 forests, 4 island, and 4 mountain to round up our mana base. That is it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.